what's going on, guys? It is Raj here, and by the title of this video, you guys are probably going to be like, wait, Raj, what are you talking about? Well, today I am talking about how the Galaxy Note 10, Note 10 Plus, and Note 10 Plus 5G are just a waste of your money. Well, reason why I'm saying this is because I know Samsung fanboys, you can get triggered at me all you want, I don't really care. But this is just my personal opinion. So you guys can take this however you guys like. If you guys are a Samsung fanboy, then okay, fair enough. But what I'm saying is just complete facts about why maybe another smartphone is more worth it than the Galaxy Note 10. Now, again, my opinion may differ from yours, so I'm not trying to persuade you to believe me or anything, that it's just not worth it, or I'm not trying to sway you towards buying an iPhone. Because for one thing, you guys know I am sort of, I guess you could say, I have some bias towards Samsung and Apple. Samsung obviously being negative bias, Apple being positive bias. But right now, at least, that bias is not going to apply. This is a fully unbiased explanation why the Galaxy Note 10 is not worth it. Now, let's delve into some of the facts. So, number one, there is other smartphones in this price point that are way more worth it, and sure, it might be a little bit older, but for example, say you don't want an iPhone and you still want a Samsung phone. Go for the Galaxy S10. That thing, if you compare it to this here, let me just click on this here. But if you compare it to the Galaxy S10, at least that I'm going to show you here, let me find it here, S10. So if you compare it to the Galaxy S10, the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, keep in mind this is the Note 10, this is the S10. Sure, the S10 may have a slightly smaller battery, but honestly, there's not really much of a difference here. And if you look here, especially at the expandable storage, by the way, this is to you Samsung fanboys, but if you look at the storage right here for the Galaxy S10, as you can see here, it says you can expand the storage, whereas here you cannot expand it. It's stuck at 256 gigabytes. And I know that something, at least like expanding your storage, might be important to some people and it might not be to other people. I know for one thing, for me, it's not important because I have an iPhone 10 and I'm pretty happy with its storage, honestly. It has 256 gigs. I'm happy with it. I can live with it. But to most people that are like professionals or whatever, maybe, I'm not really sure who would use this, but I mean, again, to some people, expandable storage is important. That's one reason not to get the S10 not to get the Note 10 and to get the S10, say, instead. And then if you can see right here, this right here is a code name for the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855. So it's the same processor, so you're getting identical performance for a lower price point. So again, better reason to go with the S10 on that one. And RAM, it's the exact same. Basically, there's still 8 gigabytes of RAM, it's the exact same. It's almost like the exact same device. There's still 4G LTE if you go with the 4G model. And then there is basically right here, whatever they call it, like scene optimizer. Sure, for this one you can only do it up to 30 scenes, and this one it doesn't really say, but whatever. It's basically the exact same. This has dual aperture. See, that's the thing, is that they're trying to change up the wording to confuse you. Now, if you're the everyday consumer, take it from me personally, these companies like Samsung will reword everything to try and confuse you and make you think it's brand new, when really, it's not. It's not brand new at all. The Note 10 and the S10, they're like the same phone. Now, I know a lot of Samsung fanboys may be triggered at me for this, but it's the truth. If you look at them spec-wise, they're the exact same. It's like they're the exact same phone. So really, it's probably better to skip out on the Note 10, to be honest. I mean, even if, like, say, your Galaxy S9 or whatever, or S8 is still working, skip the S10 and the Note 10. Wait at least 2 more years. See, like, push your Samsung device to the limit. Because I know, for one thing, iPhones, they last 5 to 6 years. That's why I have an iPhone 10 still. And I don't have, say, an iPhone XS Max, an iPhone XS. I don't even have an iPhone XR. I have the iPhone 10 from 2017. So that's one reason I'm waiting, is because A, smartphones, they're getting more and more expensive. B is because my iPhone 10, it performs like a champ still. Like, to this day, even a few years later, it's still running great, and I have no reason at all to upgrade. So really, that's one of the caveats to it. And again, here we have an FHD plus FHD plus dynamic AMOLED display. And sure, it might be like 0.2 inches bigger, but you are getting lower quality with this one. With this one, it's Quad HD plus dynamic AMOLED. So this one is a higher quality panel versus this AMOLED display. So you're getting a higher quality panel with the S10 versus the Note 10. Another big difference. And then design-wise, again, this might also not be important to you, or it also might be important to you. The S10 has a headphone jack. The Galaxy Note 10, no headphone jack at all. So it's caught up with the iPhones and almost every modern-day phone, which honestly, in my opinion, I don't like the headphone jack. I don't miss it. I use wireless headphones. I use the AirPods too. I have no reason to even have a headphone jack anymore on my phone, and I personally don't care about it. I don't care about the headphone jack whatsoever. Now, I know that some people do, so if you want that option, you have the S10. And the S10, in my opinion, I don't have a problem with it, but I mean, in my fair opinion, I just don't like Samsung. Like, that's just me. For their devices and all of that, I just feel like that they're not safe and they're not protecting your privacy enough. That's why I'm with Apple for life, honestly. Like, that's just my opinion, though. Now, obviously, you guys will have your different opinions, but that's just my opinion. And really, the fact of it, though, is that, yes, Apple is a lot more secure. So if you, again, care about privacy, then go with Apple. If you really don't care about privacy that much and you want features and you want other stuff, I mean, sure, iPhones, obviously, they have lots of features, but if, say, you want, I don't know, a few more features or whatever, then go with a Samsung or an Android phone. That's really your choice. But also here, if you compare it with the Galaxy S10, let's compare the S10 Plus now, not the S10, what am I saying? Let's compare these two side by side, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus and the Galaxy S10 Plus. Let's just change this to the 5G, the plus 5G at least. Let's change this to the plus model of that. And again, identical batteries. This is only short by 200 milliamp hours, so you're not going to notice a difference. This is expandable. Same processor right here. All of them, I'm pretty sure, have the same processor. Now, this is where things change. So these right here, with the Samsung Galaxy S10, you have two options for RAM. You have an 8GB option and a 12GB option. This one has 12GB just out of the box. So really, that's also, I guess, up to your sort of standards. Again, both of these have 4G LTE. They both have this camera feature. They both have the dual aperture. They both have flow detection. Design-wise, yeah, so looks like, again, there is a, I guess somewhat you could say, this one is slightly higher in terms of resolution for the Note 10 Plus. But again, this Quad HD dynamic AMOLED display, I really feel like that's all a person really needs. I don't think they'll need this WQHD plus dynamic AMOLED display. And a 0.4 inch difference, you're not going to see it, honestly. You're not going to see that big of a difference. Because even if you look at this right here, like, look at this. Like, there is a very, very minimal difference. You still have the chin at the bottom. You still have some bezel around the sides, a little bit less than the S10. But, I mean, visually, you can't really see a difference. Like, I don't see that much of a difference to say, oh, I want to upgrade from my S10 to the Galaxy Note 10. There's just, no. There's no reason to. It's a waste of money, and you're better spending your $1,000 on something else. Honestly, like maybe on a car or investing it into the stock market. Like, you can do so much with $1,000 and not spend it on a new Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I mean, this even goes for iPhones too. Say if you have an iPhone 8 or an iPhone 7, as a matter of fact, something as old as those, even a 6S, even something as old as that. Spending $1,000 on even the newest iPhones, not worth it, guys. Don't do it. Seriously, don't do it. It's a waste of money, and, I mean, really with iPhones, you will see, yes, more changes, in terms of like speed enhancements and all that, and maybe some minor design changes, but it's still just not worth it. I mean, if your phone still runs, you should just repair it, or at least try to repair it if you know how to, or know someone who knows how to. I mean, I know how to repair phones and tablets and all, so even computers. But if you can repair your own device and make it last longer, by all means, do so. I mean, even if, say, this thing, if I were to shatter the glass on this thing, I would fix it up. I would not trade this thing in, honestly. And even when I do get my new iPhone in the future, I'm still going to keep this around. I mean, this is going to still be my secondary phone that I go to, just because of how reliable it is. I mean, the iPhone 10, even to this day, like for 2 years now, it's not let me down at all. It's been a great phone, honestly. I love it. So that's what sort of, I guess you could say, my opinion is. But again, also, if you even look at the design of the Note 10, nothing really has changed other than the stupid S Pen, which, again, Samsung fanboys, don't get mad at me for this, but you don't need a stylus on a smartphone. Like, I'm just gonna say that right now. You don't need a stylus. Like, come on, man. You don't need a stylus on a smartphone. Maybe on a tablet, yes, like, for example, an iPad or a Samsung Galaxy Tab, S5E or whatever it's called. But again, you don't need a stylus on a smartphone. It does not make sense, it's unreliable, and most people don't even use it. It's a gimmick. Like, come on, Samsung. Get rid of the Note series already. The S series is already as it is. It's a great line. Like, I will admit that. Samsung has a great line of smartphones for their S series. So, Samsung, a piece of advice to you if you're watching this, get rid of most of your smartphone lineups that are pointless, like the Note series. There's no point to it. Like, seriously. If all you're going to encourage is, from a difference at least, from a different standpoint, from the S series to the Note series, if all you're going to say that's different is this stylus right here, it's just not worth it. I mean, like, what are you going to do with a stylus that it's worth it? Nothing. I mean, you're going to use it for sure, like the first 2 weeks and say, oh, hey, this is a cool feature to have. And yes, I get it. I used to have one of these Samsung Galaxy Note phones. In fact, it was one of my first phones. In fact, actually, no. It was my first phone. To be honest, when I got it, I, yes, did use the S Pen for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. Then I said, oh, you know what? I just don't even care about it. I'm not going to use it. That was my mentality. That's what most people's mentalities are. They will use it for a few weeks and say, oh, hey, this is nice having a stylus. But then in the end of the day, we have touchscreens for a reason. We don't need styluses on our phones. Like, come on, guys. We don't need styluses. Now, I did say that this would be an unbiased sort of video, but, I mean, I am just spitting out the truth. That we don't need stylus. I mean, even if you look at Steve Jobs, when he introduced the first iPhone, he said, who needs a stylus? And I completely agree with him, honestly. Even in the modern era, nobody needs a stylus. On an iPad, sure, that's fine. On a Samsung tablet, that's fine. On a Microsoft Surface Edge tablet / laptop, that's fine. But on a smartphone, no thank you. Just no thank you. Because it wastes space in the smartphone as well. Like, you can have bigger batteries, you can have a lot of different things. More storage, you can have a lot of different things in there. And utilize that space. It can be more water resistant, aka waterproof, if companies want to call it that. But, yeah, I mean, it's just not worth it. Honestly, it's not worth it. So, but, yeah, I mean, again, my opinion, so... But yeah, these are just highlighting some facts of it, as you guys can see here. I mean, nothing really that drastic from the S line. Like, I mean, even this, too. These annoying curved edges, like, why, Samsung? Why? Seriously, why? Do we need these curved edges, Samsung? We don't. On the front especially, no. Smartphones, they should be a flat slab of glass, not a curved one. Because having that curve right there, it's more prone to damage. That's just not right. Because sure, Samsung screens and glass back replacements might be cheap, but do we really need that on our heads? No. You should not be concerned, say, if you drop your phone from head height several times, in fact, 20 times. I've done that with this, not on purpose, on accident, And the back glass of my phone, I will even show this to you guys right now on camera, has not even been scratched. Look. It's flawless from day one since I've gotten this thing. It's just a bit dirty, obviously, as you can see, but it's just flawless. Like, you guys cannot see a single crack on it at all. I mean, obviously, it might be hard to tell for some of you guys, but I promise you, there's no cracks on it, there's no scratches on it, nothing. Nothing at all. And this case, it's thin. It's very, very thin. So, in fact, the phone, it takes most of the impact. And just look at this. The front edges there, the display doesn't go all the way to the front edge and curve. In fact, it actually is flat. And that's great, too, especially for durability standards. Having a flat edge like that is amazing. I mean, having it just act like a solid piece of glass is great. And especially with Apple here using stainless steel, that just makes it even better. Like, because that's another thing, too, is that Samsung, they like to use aluminum on their sides of their phones, which I agree is not a bad material. But it's just the way that you produce the phone. I mean, if you're going to have it compete with $1,000 iPhones, you might as well put stainless steel on the borders. Like, come on. I mean, Apple even switched from aluminum to stainless steel on their flagship phones. For example, the iPhone 10 that I'm holding here in my hand, this was a flagship from 2017. And I'm also kind of polishing it right now while I talk to you guys, because it's a bit dirty on the back. But, I mean, this has been a flagship from 2017. And look at the sides. They're still flawless, they're unscratched, and they're practically unscathed. I mean, with aluminum, you're going to get dents, you're going to get a lot of things with aluminum. Aluminum is just a pain, especially on flagship phones. Now, I get that on some phones it belongs there. For example, like the 10R. It's not a flagship phone. It's not meant for everyone. Neither is an iPhone 10, and neither is, obviously, this Samsung Galaxy Note 10. So, anyways, cutting to the point, Samsung is advertising, obviously, their cinematic Infinity O display, even though it's just, come on, it's just a 1080p display. Like, chill with the advertising right here. It's just a 1080p display. There's nothing special about it. It's been done before. But, again, there's the stupid S Pen, which you don't need. There's called a virtual keyboard on a smartphone for a reason, and there's also called a touch screen. You don't need the pen. Like, come on, man. And I will say, too, that some of these images, they do definitely look like they're photoshopped, so. Sorry about that interruption, guys, but as I was saying, this image does definitely look photoshopped. That's what you get in the box. Funny thing is, Samsung doesn't even have a dongle that they include. So, that's pretty funny, because they removed the headphone jack again, so. But, yeah, I mean, overall, point is that don't buy the Note 10. Unless you have a very, very old phone, do not even consider getting the Note 10. It's not worth it. It's a piece of junk. And, yeah, I mean, you're better just getting a S10, S10 Plus, S10 5G, even an iPhone. Like, dare I say it, you're even better getting an iPhone XS Max or an iPhone XS, even an iPhone XR, because the XR is a lot cheaper than this. So, you're better off getting that. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Again, sorry about my rant and whatever, but I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.